This is a Dorking Out special bulletin brought to you by Impatience. Want to do something right now you could just as well do in the very near future? Then you need Impatience. We now join our hosts, Sonia Mansfield and Christopher Allen Smith, blabbermouthing already in progress. You know, I said to him, that is literally the worst place to grab them. But you know what? He didn't listen to me, and, you know, you live and you learn.
Hey, dummy.
Oh,
We're on.
yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. This is the Dorking Out Show's continuing coverage of the Star Wars Rogue One final trailer release. Joining us today is David Tracy, Communications Director for the Chaos Group. They're into chaos. They produce chaos on an industrial level. They're the makers of V-Ray, rendering software for visual effects. Basically everything that blows up comes from them. You may get recognize their work in The Walk, Game of Thrones, Deadpool, SpongeBob SquarePants, most of the Marvel movies, and the Batman Arkham Asylum games. David will also be co-hosting the Dorking Out Star Trek Discovery show whenever CBS happens to get around to making the show. They seem to be in no rush. He is also the co-host of the podcast Old Movies, New Beer with some other jerk named Sarah. So, with that introduction...
Nobody gets that joke on this podcast.
That's right. It doesn't matter. You know what? Yeah, we're not going to tell you. That's going to be one of those jokes for the people that get it. The 5 people that get it. Having said all that, let's talk about the thing that we came here to talk about. The second episode of NBC's terminally mediocre, Timeless. Or
no,
perhaps we are talking about Rogue One. So, David.
Yeah.
You're here.
I am here. Rogue One.
What did you think of the final... First, what are your thoughts on Rogue One, the idea of Star Wars kind of spin-off stories, and what was your impression of today's trailer?
Well, let me tell you, Vern, I'm very excited about it. What's funny to me is on a bunch of the social media channels, I saw people saying like, well, now I'm interested in Rogue One, but I was in hook, line, and sinker like from the very first trailer. So this latest one just kind of reasserted itself. I mean, what I love about Rogue One is that I like the Star Wars movies and I enjoyed the last one, but it's like I feel like I've seen 7 movies of relatively the same characters and same storylines, and the universe is so rich and there's like so much you can do with it, and now they get to do something with it and they have a little bit more freedom, I feel. So I'm more excited about Rogue One than I am about the main storyline stuff.
Interesting. Sonia, what?
It is really interesting because it's kind of like we've talked about this a lot on our podcast with Star Trek and how there's just so many stories you can tell with Star Trek. And I think that that's true of Star Wars, too. It's a really big galaxy.
It is. And I think that's, segueing a little bit into actually the reactions to the trailer. I think that's what I'm worried about a little bit with this.
Really?
Is that it feels a little prequel-y. Not that it's anything like the prequels. It looks very exciting. It looks very cool. But the kind of like, all right, you've got this big universe that you can pay attention to. You got all these stories and all these different directions. And now we're going to go to,
back to the Death Star.
Back to the Death Star. Back to the secret base on Yavin. Back to Darth Vader in his, what is apparently super pissed off mode. We're going back to, and in some ways, in the way that in the trailer, when they talk about, hope, and isn't a rebellion built on this, it's almost like if somebody bumped the camera, it would spin around and you would see Luke just like right off the set. Like A New Hope is just like literally right outside of the frame. And I find myself kind of like, I can kind of see I think I can see the march of the story from this, and I'm kind of disappointed, even though the trailer looks spectacular.
I am not disappointed at all. I think it looks really great, and I was excited to see some of the new stuff. Like, I don't know all the characters' names, so you're going to have to forgive me because I really try not to read a lot about the movie, and I only watch the trailers because you want to talk about them. So
that's right. Blame me. Fine, blame me.
If I don't like the movie, it will be your fault.
Well,
no,
I'm sorry you have a podcast,
so
Sonia.
this is the first time I noticed, and I don't think it was in the other previews, that Forrest Whitaker's character has is he missing a leg or he has robotic feet?
I think that's
kind of like, Luke had his, robotic hand or whatever.
Right.
I thought that was really interesting. I'm always excited when they show more Ben Mendelsohn. I think he's a really great actor, and I'm excited to see what he does in this movie.
Yeah.
I think you make a good, I think you do have a good point where they really could go further out from the main storyline because it really is rich enough where you really, I actually don't even, Darth's in it. I don't even care too much about that. I just feel like the characters and the settings and everything looks interesting and different. So
right.
They really could stray a little further out. And it made me think about some of, it's almost like they can take more, like in the video games or like in the novels or stuff, like in the Shadows of the Empire or Knights of the Old Republic or any of that stuff. It's like they don't have quite the bonds where they feel like they have to tie so much to the main storyline.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like this is, a New Hope version 0.5. It's so close, and having said all that, this trailer is gorgeous. The shots in this thing, I saw a comment online that I'm not sure I agree with, but I got to think about it more, that this might be the best looking Star Wars movie ever made because it just looks insane.
I need to see the movie first before I can make that judgment, but the previews look really great.
There's some beautiful shots in it.
Yeah, and especially that shot where with the fallen over Jedi statue and all that kind of stuff, which took me a second to get, or I had to go back 3 or 4 times. Am I seeing that right? Is that what? And then it's like, oh my God, this looks so sweet.
Well, and just the big Death Star that looks kind of like a moon hanging in the ground. That's a really beautiful shot. There's a lot of really beautiful shots.
Right. So do you have any fears, or was there anything particularly that leapt out at you that you're excited to see?
David?
Oh, me.
Or either one of you.
Oh.
Go ahead, Sonia. Any fears?
No, this one's for you, David.
I don't have any fears about it. I feel like it looks like a really great movie. I'm excited. So I feel confident, I'm at least going to be entertained.
Right.
There's nothing in the preview. Do you remember the early previews for Phantom Menace? There was one really good preview, and then there was some other ones with Jar Jar Binks and it,
Where he started talking? Yes.
Yeah. There's nothing like that in this.
Right.
Where I'm oh no, you know.
Yeah.
I can see where the reshoots would be maybe a concern for someone, or I'm not a huge. This is the director that did the recent Godzilla movie, right?
Yes.
And I have some. It was an enjoyable film, but it was also kind of personality-less in some ways, and so I have a little bit of reservations in that regard.
I didn't see that one.
But at the same time, it's a lot of the times with these movies, you're just kind of happy to be in this world. That's kind of how I felt in The Hobbit. The first Hobbit one, I feel it's nice to be back. And then the second and third, what have they done?
I'm still here.
I'm still here. Yeah. Why are you doing all this stuff to this book? But so I don't know. I've been suckered by so many trailers. I'm such a mark for some of this stuff. AT-ATs, but they're not in snow.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of how much they're going to be. It's going to be fan service, and how much of it's going to be an actual original, exciting story.
This looks less fan servicey to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm having a hard time threading that needle. It feels kind of fan servicey. Actually, in the settings, and there's the Scout Walkers, and there's this, and there's Yavin Base, and it feels kind of fan servicey, but I don't know if it's just like superficial stuff.
Right.
We'll see.
But I feel like those things, for this story, those things need to be there.
Yeah, I agree.
It would be weird if they weren't.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, yeah, I think we're all very enthusiastic. I am with David, I think, in that I am a little nervous about the reshoots. Tony, the rumors are Gareth Edwards was not back for the reshoots, and that Tony Gilroy, who did the second to last Bourne movie, the one with Jeremy Renner that was boring.
The Bourne Ultimatum.
No, it wasn't the Bourne. It was Bourne Ultimatum was
the Bourne Identity.
No,
it
was the Bourne Project or something. I don't know. Point is, it was boring.
Bourne Supremacy.
Nope.
Bourne versus Batman.
Yep, that's a one. That was it. That's it. Bourne versus Batman. All right. So we'll see. I mean, we've heard. I'm definitely one of those people that tries to caution people. Hey, reshoots. They did reshoots on Titanic. They've done reshoots on big movies before, and it's vastly improved them. So you never know. But I also, with Gareth Edwards, his Godzilla movie, the people parts were nearly unwatchable. They were really boring. The Godzilla was great. And by the way, Sonia, you should see it because I believe Godzilla destroys your house.
Oh, well, then I will see it.
Now that I think about it,
it's a target.
San Francisco gets wrecked. And I would be willing to believe that he just stomped your house. You know what? You might be a casualty in that movie now that I think about
I better look. I better watch it then. David, you saw it.
I did see it.
Was our house destroyed? Did you see our house from there?
I did not. It's a lot of murkiness, a lot of night. They always do a lot of these effect shots at night to make it easier, but I'm sure our house was destroyed.
Now I'm going to go off on a totally different tangent.
All right.
Just for a second. And I went to go see Shin Godzilla, the new reboot of the Japanese line of Godzilla movies.
Oh.
And that movie makes the recent Godzilla movies scenes like I don't even know what. I need a metaphor for a great, fantastic, hyper dramatic people scenes. Because it was literally an hour and a half of Japanese people in meeting rooms talking to government ministers, and then Godzilla walking halfway through Tokyo. It was incredibly boring.
Oh, that's disappointing.
You know what it is, actually? This is a perfect metaphor. Imagine watching an episode of the Japanese version of The West Wing where the crisis of the show is Godzilla is coming out and walking through Tokyo, and this is the season where they fired the Japanese Aaron Sorkin, and it's just some guy trying to be Aaron Sorkin. And it's just talking.
Now I'm less interested. Before I was like, I might watch that show.
No, but, oh my God, it was just, I don't, so point is, we're all excited to see.
We're all excited to see Rogue One. Not so much with a new Godzilla movie, apparently.
That's right.
What's funny to me also this week, a lot of people were all excited about the trailer for the Star Wars game, saying that it's one of the best Star Wars trailers in a long time for anything Star Wars.
I got to go back and see that. I kind of watched half of it, and it's like, oh, this is great, but maybe it's just that I am not into... I just don't play a lot of video games.
Yeah, and it looks like a video game, so...
Yeah. And every time... it looks...
So did the prequels.
See, it looks great, but every time I see a video game preview like that, I kind of wish, I wish they would just do a CGI Star Wars movie. And they never do it, and it gets me very teased up to play a game I'm just not Not going to have the time to play, so I'm out.
Clone Wars. You could play Clone Wars or whatever is that one? What was that? What's the TV series?
Clone Wars.
Yeah,
yeah,
Clone
you're
Wars.
right.
Yeah, that's true. I do wonder, though, when are they going to make a Star Wars spin-off movie in the Old Republic?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. That's a great time.
Is that something you'd be interested in?
I'd be all over that, like white on rice.
Same.
Do you think? So we have they got to finish this trilogy, then they have to finish these 3 standalone movies.
And then you have to drop back 4,000 years.
Do you think they would have the fortitude to say, all right, now we're going to tell a Star Wars story 4,000 years before anything you know that's Star Wars?
Disney can do what they want with this franchise, so I don't see how they wouldn't. I don't know. If that's the one that would be like, maybe it's going to be a Netflix series.
Oh,
Watch it.
oh my God! Can you imagine? I wonder how much Netflix would pay for a series. Do you think?
I bet it would be so good.
Oh my God! Let's all, everybody, listeners, let's all just sit back for a moment and revel in the glory of the imagined Netflix series, Knights of the Old Republic. It'll be a little bit more grown up, nay, a Game of Thrones style show set in the Star Wars universe. Part of me is thinking, oh, there's no way they would do that. There's no way that Disney, being so family friendly and so risk averse, and all the stereotypes about Disney, even though none of the stereotypes and fears have come to pass with the Marvel movies. So they buy Marvel. They're pumping out all these family friendly Marvel movies. There's no way they would do a dark, gritty, hard R-rated Star Wars show. But then every single one of the Netflix Marvel shows is like an HBO show.
Oh, they're so dark.
They're really dark. They're really gory, and they're being pumped out by Disney. So now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if there is some sliver of a chance that they would do something really interesting like that.
You won't see a lot of kids dressed up as Jessica Jones or
Exactly.
Kingpin on Halloween.
That's right.
That would be awesome.
And on that note, Sonia, do you have any more thoughts?
No, I'll just say goodbye.
David, do you have
Thanks
any
for
more
having
thoughts?
me. No thoughts at all. Brain empty.
All right. So, this is us contemplating Netflix's Game of Thrones
Now
style.
I'm more excited about that.
That's right.
I'll get on the script right now.
That's right. Contemplating the Netflix Game of Thrones style Knights of the Old Republic show. 10 episodes coming to Netflix in 2018. Thank you for listening.
The Dorking Out Show is on Twitter at Dorking Out Show, where you can find Chris at Jet Jurgens and Sonia at The Sonia Show. You can read about Sonia's random adventures at thesoniashow.com and track the slow and creeping progress of Chris's novel and his other hijinks at jetjurgens.com. You can find out more about The Dorking Out Show at dorkingoutshow.com. While you're over there, you can support us by giving us a review on iTunes. We have a handy-dandy iTunes link to whisk you right back to 2007, where you can leave your review and 5-star rating in iTunes. We'd do it for your podcast. Want to dork out even more? Well, you can sign up for our newsletter, where you'll get all the headlines we use as fuel for the show. That's it for this week. Thanks for listening.